I got it.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Paladins OB61 Patch Notes show. Of course, we got our regular gang, but some new faces as well. Thomas Holt, the spoil master, is gone, but he's got maybe even a more handsome and incredibly mustached replacement. Nick Arnold.
Does he turn into Alyssa?
I don't know if he does. We'll see. Does he have the same magic?
Have you been trained
I'm
in
not
the
sure.
fine arts?
It hasn't happened yet.
I'm Evan Rain Day Raider, of course, and this is Nick High-Res Prettier Keogh. He's a small dude.
You're a short
if
friend.
you didn't know. And of course, we've got our lead designer here, Garrett High-Res Martini, joining us on the show. How are you guys feeling today?
We're feeling good.
Feeling good.
Feeling excited.
Busy week?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
But we got a lot of cool stuff. Close call. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Yeah.
What a morning. It has actually been a crazy morning for me. There's so much stuff happening in this patch over the course of the last two patches you guys have seen. An incredible amount of content. We love how much you've enjoyed the Halloween updates and all the new skins. That was an incredibly good chest and received. So we expect to have some more exciting stuff for you guys heading into this one. Let's kick it off right away. Let's just get going. We've got 2 new flare chest emotes coming through, and these I heard have quite a lot of flair. Let's take a look at one of the most flairful men in the realm, Fernando.
Are they roars?
This is not a roar.
Oh, yeah.
He's always so BM, man. I love it.
I'd like to point out that the emote is called Liquid Courage.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
It befits him.
So is that like water or
Yeah,
what is
it's
that?
grape juice.
Okay, cool. Drink grape juice.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that purple stuff.
Fernando getting lit. He drinking the lean before he goes into battle. Look at him.
I don't know if we have a canon realm drink, actually.
We'll just call it lean for
We
now.
should.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, like I mean, the Harry Potter universe, they have their butter beer and whatever
Yeah,
it is.
exactly.
It's like what's the realm
They
drink?
have grog and Shadow of War. That's the orc drink.
Well, I mean, what do we have? We got to figure that out, guys. We've got another flare emote though. In the meanwhile, Maeve is getting something. Ooh.
Oh, get that
And
M.
shout out to
Wow.
the VFX team for that one. They did a really great job.
Yep. Super cool. I definitely think it's in the Zorro kind of
Yes.
like
Oh, yeah,
leave
you're right.
your mark, your calling card.
I
Yep.
mean, these are.
How does that one, does it go to like, yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
What?
Do we get red, white, and blue if we do the American daggers?
Of course, dude. Of course.
Goddamn right.
Always got to represent.
That's what I like to see.
The American daggers. Oh, the DreamHack ones look actually.
Ooh,
those,
yeah.
those might be my
Haven't seen
favorite.
that one yet.
That's a pretty rare one.
Thanks, Justin. Those are dope. I hadn't
Yeah.
seen those either.
Congratulations to us for being able to get that, guys. So that's the new Maeve flare. We've got 2 new in the flare chest, so make sure you guys go into that one. I've got all my flare stuff unlocked, but I'm cheating a little bit because I get free crystals. But if you guys want to go into that flare chest to get the new emotes, it's a great purchase. Definitely invest in that in this patch. We've also got a new skin, and let's get into the meat of things, some personality. We've got Sky getting a brand new pilot suit.
Personality.
Skin.
Oh yeah, she's looking real
Yeah.
good.
That's an uncommon skin.
That's just an uncommon? Wow.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
an uncommon. It threw us too, but
Yikes.
this is attainable with soft current, so
Be
gold.
stepping 'em up.
Gold.
You can definitely go after this and get it, guys.
I need that body. I think I'm going to use that body in my customization.
You just got to work out, Nick. That's how you
Okay,
get it.
I don't know, man. Them hips.
Whoa.
That's genetic.
That's genetic.
That's genetic.
Oh, man.
I think the blue hair is really good too. I mean, it just the high
I
contrast
like my
of the black
Kanoichi
and white.
bandana so much, though.
Dude, yeah, but the blue hair it works.
Wait,
so
does the
good.
bandana get rid of the... Okay, that is the accessory, so...
The blue hair is great.
Yeah.
Actually, it syncs up really nice with the
Wow.
darker mastery skin.
That's a statement.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you
Check
with
it out
the
with
blue
the
hair?
mastery skin.
Do the
Yeah,
that looks
see?
pretty good.
Yeah,
You
that looks
see?
good.
It looks
Good, too.
okay.
Don't question my
It looks okay.
Customization.
It's not a guy you want to fight. He really goes hard on the fashion. Guys. He really
prides
does.
himself.
But Nick, how do you think of these? How do you think of these colors? I mean, is it just like a random color generator? Like, let's go blue, let's go purple. Which one is it? Just what your favorite color? How do you guys decide?
Throw a dart at a
Yeah,
color
the
wheel?
concept art team, they put together a lot of different options. They try and mix and match, and they try and match them up with existing skins a lot, too. So it should have a lot of like reusability with different skins.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you mean somebody's thought of my customization already?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's actually
Yeah.
really cool because I did not think of that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think that was.
Yep.
It's amazing. It's just I always point out the
Cheer up,
little
man. It's okay. Come
things
on. Come on.
that always
Get out of
happens. Nick, you are
I did
unique.
it.
You are unique.
I'm a snowflake.
Unique. What is it? Uniquely unique New York? What is it? What's the?
I don't know.
Uniquely
I have
yourself.
no idea what you're talking
Unique,
about.
I don't know.
unique New York. It's like one of those
Uniquely unique.
It's something about that. Anyways,
All right,
guys,
all
we've
right.
got a new. We've also got a really cool skin that's coming out, and this one is actually tied to a certain platform that
I
you
like
guys have
this.
probably been checking out over the weekend and through the weeks. It's the Facebook Resplendent Genos skin that you can only get, I believe, by linking your accounts on Facebook.
You are
That's
correct. Yes.
limited.
Ooh.
It's pretty sick for this high contrast blue and white, which you may recognize from certain platforms,
Yeah.
and internet websites. But the weapon's really
Ooh.
cool. The body's really cool. It mix and matches great. It changes the.
We needed something to compete with Eclipse because I'm all eclipsed out right now in life, and I need a little variety in my life. But nothing was contesting it. But now
We also almost called it friends request Genos.
that weapon is sweet.
So basically, all you have to do is link your account, and this is free.
Vote free.
Wow.
Does it shoot
I
little
mean-
Facebook logos or something cheeky?
It's like the notification, like the hit decals are
The
just
like
the
button?
red one. Yeah.
Yeah, the Facebook like button. That's what I'd love to see. This is great. And
all this just Mark Zuckerberg's face.
but this is great. So again, guys, there's absolutely no reason why this shouldn't be yours when this comes out in live. Just link your Facebook account, and you get that skin for free. Pretty cool stuff. Thank you, our team, and everybody for putting that together. Now this one is going to be exciting. It's a new champion. He came out recently. I know the splash art even gets me hype here. So in game, you guys are going to be even more ecstatic when it comes up. It is Talus getting his first skin, Oni. And
That's what
dang,
I'm talking
man,
about, dude.
that is hot.
That gun, if you saw our teasers on social media earlier, it was of this gun that was like the zoomed in.
I thought it was like a
eye.
shoulder pad or something.
You thought wrong.
Like a pauldron.
But yeah, this one, it looks savage. It looks beastly. And I swear, if you just put a mouth on a gun, it makes it like
A mouth gun.
Oh, yeah.
twice as cool.
Tyra's no longer alone
Yeah.
Nope.
in the mouth gun realm.
I know who would win.
I mean, this is Nick. This is like a contrast of his like hippity hoppity young spunky dude.
Yeah, no, he looks really badass.
A little
in
more
this skin.
sinister.
And it matches up really well. Like you can see, it's part of the theme, the feudal theme.
Yep.
And my favorite part about this skin is if you remove the ACC, you change it out with something else.
Ooh, the
Check this
surprise
out.
inside.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Very cool.
He's got this is great. And I love that point you mentioned, Nick. It gives him a little bit of a different flavor than his
Yeah.
usual kind of, I'm young and earnest and exciting. This guy feels like he's been through a little bit more, maybe gone through some assassin training. Let's see what his voice pack has to say and show a little bit more about this skin's character for the Oni Talus skin.
What's up? You lost? Must be if you've run into me. Don't worry, I'll get you back, but let's have some fun first. You look quite gullible. Sorry, I mean that in a good way. Whoops! I always take my pranks too far. You should see the look on your face! Under this mask lies my most powerful weapon. Deadly cuteness.
Deadly cuteness.
It's definitely that like kind of trickster Oni
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah.
Like young trickster spirit. He's ancient, but he's young.
That's great. Wisdom in youth.
Forever young.
I
Yep.
believe it. We will be taking a look at that one in game when it comes through.
yeah.
But Nick, when we look at this feudal collection, that's Talus. Sky, Ash, they've got theirs. Anybody else that begins some?
Oh gosh, I'm
you
not,
never know.
I'm not gonna spoil those.
You're gonna give us some. If Thomas was here, he would have spoiled.
would've,
Come
he
on.
would've.
Oh, yeah,
But
but he
I-
gets that pass. We don't.
What I will say though is that you get that, and you also now have an opportunity. If you missed the other feudal skins, this is now going to be in a new chest with the other two.
Oh.
So
cool.
if you like the theme, you can pursue this one, and then maybe get the Kunoichi or the Ronin Ash. So,
Great.
Yeah.
And well, now we're in game, so let's take a look at this guy, Oni Talus, on the move.
I don't know what it is, man, but like
That
even
gun.
with the dragon gun on
Ooh.
Ash, the dragon gun on this one is gold. It has T. Oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, I haven't even seen this stuff.
Yes. Do you know what symbol? Do you know what word that is, or no?
I think it's
It stands for later.
Later stands for see ya.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. I'll be back.
Oh, and the VFX on the reload too. You can see the character just very.
pretty
Oh, it's got like a
clean.
growl. Oh my gosh,
Ooh.
Noah.
What, the reload?
I know, this is the first time I'm hearing the sounds.
Yep, very cool. Very cool.
Ooh. Wow, and then
Oh, look at the
smoke.
Dude.
The smoke's back.
My pranks.
Yo, that is just fire right there.
No, it's smoke.
No, it's smoke. You're right. From fire. I'm not wrong.
You'd have to assume fire
You're not,
somebody.
you're not wrong.
You're not wrong. Thank you, Garrett. Oh, this is great. I guess the ultimate is charged and ready.
Goodbye.
See, it's the same symbol. It's definitely what it means.
Hey, Thomas Holt is actually in the game right now. Did you see that? He got the kill. Thomas. He just wanted to play games instead of come on the Patchnotes show.
That's right.
I get it. I get it, Thomas. It's all good.
That is the most anime emote.
It is. But it's all in all, it's a beautiful skin. Like the mesh, the sound, the VFX, the splash art.
Oh, yeah.
It's all awesome.
Yeah.
Shout outs to the splash art.
Great package. So that will be coming in the Kunoichi. Feudal.
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 Yeah.
Kunoichi is the sky skin. It'll be coming in the feudal chest, and that'll be combined where you can grab maybe the Ronin Ash, the Kunoichi Sky, or be able to grab this new Oni Talus in OB61. So look out for that. Moving along, we do have a rotation coming into the VIP. This is a cool skin that is in the mouth skin war. I think
It is.
Mouth gun. It's in the mouth gun war. You could see which one is going to win because now it's Dire Wolf Tyra coming back into the realm, the rotation in the VIP store. We've got another thing as well.
I still
but
think that's one of the best.
That's one of the first.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like when it just like you guys like went ham on
Yeah.
the splash art.
Yep.
I gotta say, man,
love the
that's
way
still
that
one
one
of my
turned out.
favorites.
honestly, I think Splash Art gets me hyped for a skin almost more than the skin. I mean, this
Does
is
it?
just my personal opinion, but like
I'm a
good
voice
splash
paint guy
art,
too, yeah.
gets me going. I'm like, oh my god, yes, like that. It tells a story. You know
They're
what I
all
mean?
amazing.
And
Yeah,
I think,
definitely. You can take it a little further, but it's definitely a balancing act of trying to like keep it realistic and everything.
yeah. Of course, we do have that in the VIP store. Not sure the pricing on that, but it'll just be
Well,
available.
so that's the rotational one, right? So every time we rotate in kind of the exclusive new Epic skin that's head, weapon, body, accessory, it's always going to be the 20,000 VIP points.
Got it.
Which is the same amount of VIP points you get when you enter VIP. So it's like, if you haven't got the skin because it's hidden behind a chest or it's just been discontinued, but we rotate it in, sign up for VIP, and you have a direct one-button stop for getting it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very cool.
Great. Easy conversation there. Just become a VIP member. Very simple. 200 crystals. Get that skin right away. We've got another thing being added to the VIP store. If there wasn't enough, it is the Bomb King dance emote.
Oh, this one. Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
Wait,
Coming
what?
to you.
Oh yeah.
Hair back and forth.
I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my.
One more time. Okay, thank you.
Oh my God! I whip
Is that
my
actually
fuse
the
back and
dance
forth.
from that song?
Wasn't
Maybe
that
like Will Smith's daughter.
Yes, that
Willow
was
Smith?
Willow Smith.
Oh my
Well,
God.
that should have been the Willow dance.
Shout out.
Oh, my goodness.
She doesn't
We
have
missed-
any
we
hair,
missed an
though.
opportunity
She just
there.
has like that little bulb.
Shout out to Pumpkin as well.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
he's really rocking.
Tis the season.
He's really like into this jam. I like
I'm
this.
getting like a metal like.
Yeah.
Yes,
It really is.
He's a metalhead for sure. He's
Interesting,
ready to
man.
mosh.
Yes, definitely.
I love it. I love it. So that's in the VIP store as well. I'm sure that, and this is just clarification, the stuff like the Pip Get Clucked dance emote as well, that's in the VIP store as well as all the other things. So,
Yes.
the second that you join that VIP, everyone has access to grab it with those points, but you'll earn points faster as a VIP member.
Absolutely.
Nick and I, we show our VIP picks every day for every week, Thursday, every Friday-ish, before the weekend to grab extra points when you vote for the PPL matches. So you can earn more points that way and get bonuses if you are a VIP member.
I think we're at like an 80% success rate
We're
right
like
now.
80%. It's like a
We're up
free
there.
1,200.
You guys are like
know.
market analysts.
But I
that
ain't
people
even
can
that-
follow and
Financial
you can
analyst
save
of the
money
VIP point
if you
system.
listen to what they say, guys.
That's always been how it works.
Yeah.
That's always been how it works.
But at the
and will
same time,
continue.
shout outs to upsets and being wrong.
Yes, I mean it's more exciting to probably.
Renegades.
It's more exciting to
Yo-yo.
probably be wrong. But I definitely want those points. Okay, guys, this is one that I think everyone's going to be excited about, despite everyone else having already been excited about all these other ones. This really is maybe one of the highlights here. It is for one of the most beloved champions, Drogos, DZ03, Draco skin. Wow.
This one is
There's your energy blade, bro. I
yeah,
see it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You see the oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I just want to get in game because
What are
every
those
part of
rockets
this
gonna be?
I know,
is
it's so exciting.
awesome.
You guys
And
are
this-
mad pumped about the VFX for this skin too.
Yep. VFX are good.
Damn.
Wow.
He looks just
Yeah.
bigger,
You're
yeah.
working out.
beefier.
He's beefy. Absolutely.
I mean, I guess a full metal rework would do that to you, but
Yeah. Slap some armor plates on him. He's so cool. Like the segmentation in the tail.
Yeah.
For all you guys that like tails. Also, there is the kind
Wow.
of blaster energy weapon
I know that
redo
weapon.
of the rocket launcher.
How does this puppy mesh with Terramorph, though? That's the real question.
I mean, they're like directly opposed, aren't they? Right? 'Cause-
Kind of.
It's an interesting look,
Yep. Yep.
but it would set you apart.
One's aliens, one's robots, and they are forever destined to just fight.
It's like Predator versus Aliens.
Kind of, a
Except
little bit.
better than that,
And this is
that
the
movie.
chosen one
Yep.
to bring them both together.
Well, we obviously have a lot to do with this one. It's a full, I believe, epic skin.
Yep. So
and
it's got the
so we
voice
got
pack.
a voice
It's got
pack.
all the things.
So let's take a listen to the voice pack for DZ03 Draco right now.
Enemy life expectancy 0%. Power disparity in my favor. Loading destruction core. My performance is unmatched. Organic life forms removed. I need to practice more. I've gotten a little rusty.
Saw that one coming. That is like a badass voice.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
dude.
Couldn't even laugh at that. I was
Nope.
just intimidated.
He sounds mean. Sounds
Wow.
sinister.
I was scared.
Like he's a program that's written to kill.
Written to kill. Oh boy. Well, let's take a look at this guy in game. It's DZ03 Draco Drogos coming up very shortly. I mean, standing out for you, Nick. Obviously, you were a part of this. What's your favorite part of this skin going into game? What should we look out for?
It's so hard to pick, but honestly, like one of the biggest things I love about this skin are the VFX. I mean, again,
Yep.
Justin and his team did such a good job with it, and this is actually like a rare case where like the splash art. Like we got the splash art finished, and that influenced some of the VFX. And
wow.
Justin went back and added some really cool features to it. So,
And then Garrett wanted
Yeah.
a blade.
Yeah.
yeah,
So VFX is that Roland and Justin Giggity Goo and
Yes. Yeah.
those two guys?
Shout out to Gady. God, even the full.
What? Oh my God, I'm done, guys.
Damn.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
gotta
re-
bounce.
Is that replacing?
I had to go play Paladins.
Brazilian cannon for you?
Ooh. Bruh.
On the fire spit.
Yeah, and all the sounds too, they're like so mechanical. Oh my god, it's like you're in a Transformers movie, dude. It's so good.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
I'm speechless.
Optimal.
I'm without speech. This is unbelievable.
Ultimate is ready.
No, it's super cool.
Kraken. Fury.
The plasma cutter. Cassie, no!
Yep. So cool, dude.
Oh,
He just
God!
and the spray to finish it all off. His signature cret move.
Is there any other way?
Beautiful
no,
stuff
You should
there.
see, we've got a pro player Cybate that literally works sprays like into his rotation.
I
So
know,
he'll
I
be
know,
like
it's
roll
so
shot
impressive.
spray, look up roll
Yeah.
shot spray. I'm like, bro, like, just focus.
That is how he focuses.
It's an interesting POV
We
right
always
there.
commented on it too because we're like,
Yeah, I
oh,
love that
Cybate's
so
not
much.
spraying, dude.
Yep.
Look at the fire spit flying off into the distance, man. I mean,
yeah.
I think this is going to encourage more fire spit builds. You know, the high
lung
end
capacity
lung capacity 4. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Fusillade lung capacity 4. You hit for like 1500. It's pretty nuts.
It's mean, dude. It's mean.
The explosion sounds really good too. Damn.
Yep. All the explosions are new and dope. Like, you feel so much more powerful playing this. It's awesome.
Well, that is DZ03 Draco Drogos. That will be available, I believe. What is it? Direct purchase? Or
Yeah, it's the direct purchase in the VIP.
great
Yep.
in the
VIP,
VIP.
boy.
So
Come
this
get those
is
VIP points for free and spend them on
Boy, oh
badass
boy.
stuff. Yep.
I can't. I mean, if you're not VIP now, I don't know if what's gonna get you. This is my guarantee to get a few people up in here. So fantastic stuff. That'll be available in the store. Now this is what everyone has kind of been waiting for here. Of course, it's been
Oh, is it time?
a couple
It's
of
time.
weeks. It's been a couple of weeks, and we've had to kind of get ourselves back on the grind, which is what we've been known for the most of this year is just pumping these guys out and girls out. But it makes it more exciting to kind of wait just a little
Crazy.
bit longer. You know what I mean?
And, yeah, guys and girls and daddies.
Daddy's pumping them out. Just pumping them out. But now it is that time again. We didn't give you one last patch, but we're giving you one this patch. It's a brand new champion entering the realm. This time it's a frontliner, and his name is Terminus, the Fallen.
That's what I'm talking about, dude.
Ouch.
Oh, that was good.
I was chilling.
Yep. I love those videos.
Oh my God, great job.
Shout out to the
Their
cinematic team.
facial expressions at the end, man.
Yeah.
They knew.
What?
That was the moment they knew.
Yeah, so they really knocked it out with that one.
Keeping it real goes wrong, man. I love it. The idea behind this is so beautiful, and of course, this is going to play into what you saw. That cinematic will be a part of Terminus's kind of playstyle in the realm as we take a look at his
As
new
defined
champion.
by Daddy.
He's a big dude, and I know that we've
He's about ready to headbutt the player UI up there.
Yeah.
he doesn't mess around.
Yeah, he's got to bend down.
UIs, enemies, they all get crushed because this is our officially biggest character so far in our roster. I know we hinted at it in the previous Patchnotes show, so if you guys picked that up, I saw that Reddit thread. Don't think I did. Well done. Well done.
Garrett sees all.
But he is super awesome, guys. Like, this is such a embodiment of power, visceral kind of ferocity, and it synergizes with his playstyle. It synergizes with his character and who he is. He looks awesome, and as you can see, like I know I'm talking all about the looks, but Nick, you can probably do better justice to.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know it was a real challenge for our team, being like we wanted to make such a huge character, but also still have him fit within the areas on the map that we have. And so, like, a lot of that plays in with the animation. Like, he's kind of got this hunched over look, and that really goes into his personality and everything as well. And just, like, the crystals and everything on him just look fantastic.
So we do have a voice pack coming in for Terminus the Fallen. Let's take a listen to that now for the new champion coming out in OB61.
I will crush you into dust. Stone and blood. The magistrate commands, I eradicate. My fight is eternal. People are like trees. You cut them down with an axe. Oh, yeah.
I got a Kool-Aid Man reference in there, huh?
Interesting.
I think Grover would have something to say about that, Mr.
No, dude,
Terminus.
he's mean from head to toe, and as you can see right now, we're kind of going through his common and uncommon skins. Shout out to this uncommon skin because it is awesome.
Wow.
It changes the color of the crystal. That blue and gold really just pops. I love it.
This is a whole new look.
I'm excited for this guy to get his first epic skin, though. I gotta say, I can't wait.
It's a lot of man meat to work with. You know?
I bet.
Phrasing.
A lot of man stone.
Phrasing.
Phrasing. Yeah.
Phrasing.
Listen, he's clearly at the gym, man. I don't know if
daddy.
you want to argue with me or not. This is a big dude. So he's got a lot to work with.
He's awesome, guys, and I obviously you're looking at him, you're like, where's the gun? There's not a gun. There's a giant axe.
Yes.
Yep.
And once we jump into the gameplay, we'll show you what it's all about.
So this is the guy that brings the knife to the gunfight, so to speak, and probably still wins or does very well for
The
himself.
giant massacre axe to the gunfight. Yeah.
That's
this
the
guy.
name, right? Massacre Axe.
Yep. That's right.
That's pretty straightforward.
He is all about being straightforward and kind of all business.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah, and so, moving into this, we are going to take a look at this Terminus in-game and show him off. There are some very interesting elements that are added in his kit that will maybe change the dynamics that you experience in your Paladins games very often. He's got a couple of new kind of mechanics that definitely will take some maybe adjusting to and some exciting adjusting because it'll bring a new play style.
Shout out to that horse, dude.
Oh my God, the real MVP.
Bro, you done?
So right off the bat, we notice this hulking melee weapon in the frame. So let's go ahead and do what we all want and swing it.
Or
Not
emote.
Or
before
emote.
we revel in
Emote's
this
cool, too.
moment. Oh.
Oh yeah, it's hefty.
Yeah.
It's meaty. You're seeing that 700 damage a swing. He swings at I think 1.1 or 1.2 rate. So definitely a heavy hitter.
It even sounds good to miss with this weapon.
No, the sounds on this character are amazing. Oh god, the weapon inspect too. Look how just like he toys with that thing. That thing probably weighs like 100 pounds or something ridiculous.
Easy.
And he's like,
Minimum.
don't matter.
Rock Daddy.
I'm going to say this guy's probably, 7 and 8 feet tall? Something like that?
He's a monolith for sure.
I'm
Yeah.
giving that axe 150 to 200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So his LMB, his main in-hand attack, is a melee strike. I know before we had some kind of issues with other characters that tried to emulate this similar relationship, mainly Grover, and we feel like we've kind of reached a point that involved a bit of a role swap and also a different kick mechanic swap that allows for such a mechanic to exist. We had some difficulties implementing it before, but I think we really touched on something that brings it home with this character. So we just went over the left click. The right click, his alt fire, is this quick little charge blast right there. So it's on a very low cooldown, 2 seconds. Now, it's a projectile attack. It's very fast. Also, it sounds awesome. I love that sound. And also, it synergizes with other parts of his kit that I won't spoil yet. So you have a very quick and just constantly up way to interact with enemies at range, which makes your melee on your left click not feel as detrimental, right?
Right.
Like, you don't have to just... You can be effective in the fight, participating, without being next to, in the face of your enemies.
Right.
So the awesome synergy with the right mouse button comes in with the Q. So your Q is called Power Siphon, and what this ability does is project like this ephemeral energy field in front of you. So as you're walking, slows your movement speed and is paired with a resource. As you can see, the UI pops up on your screen when you're consuming it. Now what this does is block enemy ranged attacks, so projectiles, instant fire traces, and then it absorbs damage. And as you can see on the screen, the damage you absorbs feeds into a charge system. You can have a maximum of 4 charges that you can permanently store all the time. And each one of these charges will then add an additional projectile onto your next Calamity Blast, which is that your RMB. Boom.
Hello.
So you can just drop damage. If you've been tanking, if you've been absorbing damage like a good frontline player should be, kind of taking it for your team, then you gain more offensive reliability. It feels awesome to just take all that damage and throw it back. And Droxus has a similar effect, but it's like the baby version, right? This is the daddy tank version of it. That's like, give me all of your damage. I want it all.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually was kind of relating this to reversal and the fact that it is a reversal almost that you can store and use at your own whim, so to speak.
Exactly.
And gives, I think this is going to be probably the skill cap portion for Terminus. That's going to separate a lot of good Terminus players versus average Terminus players. Being able to utilize this effectively, because there's a lot of thinking and thought and timing and analyzing a situation that goes into utilizing this correctly.
Absolutely. And as you can see there, it's not weak.
Right.
If you're doing your job and you're absorbing and landing all the projectiles, so there's a bit of a skill requirement.
Right.
You can get some serious bursts. It's 250 per, and you can have a maximum of 5.
So, wow.
Yeah.
So it's 1 at base, and then the 4 ticks are in addition to the 1.
In addition,
Got
on
it.
your next one, absolutely.
So 5 total. Okay.
Yep.
And talk to me about this shield. Is it, because Androxus is based on how much damage he's taking. So how much do you have to absorb to get a charge?
I think it's 1,200 damage.
It is.
And to be clear, this damage absorption field isn't a shield. This is just something that you project in front of you that just absorbs all of the shots. So you can't, it doesn't deal more damage to it.
And
Other
you can't
abilities
break
don't counter
it.
it. You can't
Wrecker
break it.
won't
You put it in front of a hexafire.
Exactly. There is no scenario where you want to shoot this shield.
Yes. And he has a resource, which means he can't hold it up forever.
Exactly.
Eventually, the shield will drop.
And he's also, I think, slowed by 80% while doing it. So he's not really offensive while it's happening. But as facing Terminus, you never want to shoot the shield.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so you got to catch it when the shield is down. You charge it up every 1,200. It seems like a lot of burst that can happen to it, but he's melee gear. What I've seen so far is that kind of the dynamic that's always been kind of difficult with melee is that way to contribute to a fight from afar, and that's what seems like Calamity Blast is helping players to be able to do. But also, how does he get to people if there's a gap that they've created?
Beautiful segue.
Yeah.
So if we can, James, can you just take that Cassie down? Yes. So, God, I love the way this ability feels, guys. So this ability is called Shatterfall, and what it is a leap. And actually, if you've noticed the way it moves, it moves actually a very similar to Ash's ult sweep in that he is a frontline, right? So it's not a quick dash that you would find on a flank or something like that. So you have a little bit of hang time when in the air. But in this case, you get a little bit more payoff on the end.
Yep.
So if you leap into the air, and then when you come down, you bring your axe down, smash it in front of you, and then what you create this like energy seismic wave in front of you that will damage and slow enemies caught in the area. Now it's a decently long area. It actually communicated by the decal on the ground, so you can see this rift that appears in front of him. Any enemies along that path will be damaged and slowed. It's 500 damage hit, so that's nothing.
It's a good opener.
Yeah, it's a really good opener. Also synergizes really well with one of his legendaries, which changes that slow to a 1 second stun. So if you want to buy into the legendary, by all means do so. The caveat is that I think it's a 14 or 15 second cooldown. So it's an impactful ability, but you need to use it wisely.
Right.
He doesn't have any cards that modify the cooldown of it, so going in, know that you are permitted this chance to move, displace yourself, and potentially start a fight or finish one, but you're not going to be able to do so very shortly after.
Like, have a backup plan, basically.
Exactly.
If things go wrong, what do you decide to do?
Or have a full resource on your power siphon bar.
Sure.
So it is a lot of fun, and also just as just a feels thing, killing someone with this ability just feels awesome. I would ask for you to take that Cassie health down to 200, James, and then just dunk her.
Dunk her.
All right, well, they didn't kill her, but you finished it up at the end.
Yeah.
Mistakes were made.
So, I mean, I guess one of the questions I wanted to ask you, Nick, is Terminus doesn't seem like the most agile guy in general, right? But he breaks out the jumps. I mean, this looks like, Shaquille O'Neal back in the day, posterizing you.
He's got some power.
What was the conversation in the art team in terms of saying, how do we want this ability to kind of manifest itself from a visual standpoint after given, the idea that it was a jump?
I think it was really important to get that twist when he's jumping down, trying to get that impact, and then there's a lot of feedback from design, trying to make it feel right, where you kind of have that stall.
Hang time moment.
Yeah, that hang time moment, and you can kind of bring it down, and that has a really cool, impactful experience, but it also helps you, with the skill and being able to place exactly where you're landing. So.
Yeah, it's super cool, and getting the gravity curve just right to emphasize that hang time, and then the collapse on your victim is super impactful. It's a lot of fun to use, and it's extremely effective in game, because being able to slow someone, and then as a melee character, you get to capitalize on that slow extremely heavily.
Yeah, the slow is actually 60% for 2 seconds.
That's
so
correct.
if you take if you understand what it feels like to be slowed by Pip's explosive flask, that's 50% for 2.5 seconds. So this is even more. So this is a very big slow coming through. He's going to have a lot of opportunities to hit a few shots afterwards. Now, I guess everyone is really asking, and probably at this point wants to see that big center button that hasn't been pushed yet.
I think we should show him.
Wait, what's happening?
How
you doing?
I love that.
Oh, baby, a triple!
Thanks, baby.
Solid voice back choice.
Wow. So, walk me through what's
So that
going
is
on
his
here.
ultimate, guys. That is reanimation. It's the first kind of back from the dead ability that we have had in Paladins.
Yep.
The way it works is that when you bring your energy charge, you won. Congratulations. You're learning.
Good for you.
But the way it works is
Right.
that once you reach full energy charge, then you actually can't use your ult when you're alive. So that means it needs to be doubly impactful for when you do get to use it, because it's not something
So
that you
it's
can do.
basically a dead ability while you're alive?
Exactly, right?
Therefore,
but
that's good.
It's so actually really calming knowing you have it up, because then you can be riskier. You can try and make bigger plays because you know you're going to come back.
Right.
It's really powerful. It's really fun. And what's going to happen is you're going to get your 100 energy charge, and then you're going to die.
Right.
Now, it doesn't offset your respawn timer at all.
Speak
What
for
it
yourself,
does
Garrett.
is that you have a timer within your respawn timer. So 4 seconds you have to activate or reactivate your ultimate, I guess,
Okay.
and then trigger the resurrection. As soon as you trigger the resurrection, you immediately start that wind up where you start piecing your character back together, building in, and then exploding. It's super awesome. It's super cinematic, and then it's a very large explosion. For enemies, we found that in testing it's actually extremely telegraphed, right?
Okay.
Because you know where he dies.
Right.
You know this is the character that has a chance to come back when he dies.
And explode.
And then he's rooted when his fuse timer is going off. So it's a very big explosion. As you saw, it's very powerful, 4,000 damage. So don't get caught in it. Synergizes. What's really effective about it is actually extending pushes like that. It's overtime. Your front line jumps in. Dies on the payload, and then, oh no, we've lost. But wait, it's actually Terminus coming back from beyond.
99 to 99 on an objective. Where else can you stand? If this guy's there, you gotta take 4K.
He's the man you want.
Does this go through shields?
It does not.
Okay, so you still have the counter possibilities there, but man, that shield better be big.
Yeah. Wow.
And wide.
She was far away.
This is this the radius of like a Bomb King ult?
No, it's bigger than a Bomb King.
It's even
ult.
bigger.
Yep. I believe
Wow.
we're looking at 50 feet.
Bigger than Dread Serpent?
Mama. 50 feet's long.
50 feet's long, yeah. 40, I think Dread is 45, so it's in the ballpark of a Dread Serpent for sure.
And in the air, is it the same height, like just 50 feet all around?
Yeah, it's a radius, absolutely. So super impactful. Always be wary of the Terminus, which kind of actually is basically what you always want to do anyways, because he's a melee character.
Right.
So his position in regards to you is something you're always trying to monitor. But no, if you take him down, he's a chance to come back.
What does Terminus mean? Is that like ending of something?
Yeah, it's actually it can mean the end of something. It can mean kind of like a,
is it Latin?
I believe it was like a signal stone of some sort. Yeah, it has actually multiple connotations, and I believe it was also one of the early names for Atlanta, which is a little bit
Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah.
Really?
Like way back in the day.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So shout outs to I think Rob if you're listening for the name suggestion, but. Super powerful sounding. It synergizes with his character because he terminates, man. That's what he does.
That's his thing.
And he will be back.
He will always be back.
That is just
he's a
incredible.
lot of fun. His kit is extremely visceral, extremely impactful. Still requires some intelligence and positioning to use because your main source of damage is a melee strike. Oh God, I love that dunk. I love that dunk so much.
So a 200 IQ character is what you're telling me.
Exactly.
So we're obviously gonna take a look at this guy, throughout the PTS and throughout the week. But this is something that's a different look for people as well. What just happened there?
Absolutely. So this is a third-person toggle. Now, if you were kind of listening along in the dev talk that myself and Superbad Juju hosted yesterday, thanks for chilling with us. And we went into the details about it. But what we'll be doing in this patch is testing a new third-person toggle in our casual modes. So if you're playing casual queue, come in, give it a try, press C. Previously, if you remember, we did a forced third person in spawn, which we got some decent feedback, some decent data around that. But now we've integrated, and the biggest ask from that was like, okay, it feels a little forced. I want to be able to warm up in spawn, shoot, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I would love a toggle. So we're going to try this out. We're actually going to be doing some surveys, testing some feedbacks around it. So let us know what you think. But certain characters, Terminus being one of them, actually feels pretty freaking good to play in third person.
That axe is so big, dude.
No, he doesn't mess around, dude.
Oh my God.
It's like an 8-foot axe, basically.
That's
like
crazy.
a 7-foot axe.
Yeah.
I'm bumping that up from 200 to like 400 pounds. The more I think about it,
It's like
I'm
a bash fishing story. It just keeps on getting bigger the more I talk about it.
So this third person is obviously going to be a different feel for people who are used to the FPS kind of nature of Paladins. However, the thing is, it doesn't have to be. You don't need to go into third person. Want the messaging to be very clear to everyone. This is a toggleable thing that you could turn on or off at your whim. Paladins could be exactly the same for you if you want. It's just going to give people the option in casual modes, not in ranked, to be able, and not in esports as well, to be able to have this third-person play style and see how it befits them.
Also, yeah, and also if you're making custom games, you like playing with your friends or scrimming, there will be the option to disable this feature within your custom game as well. So yeah, it's definitely something that's been asked a lot for, and we've been looking for a good way to implement it. So let us know what you think about this rendition. It's a lot of fun. Seeing the animations in third person is a really cool experience. Some character it feels really good on too. Generally, I think some of the front lines and supports are actually
I can see
some
that.
of the leaders in terms of actual gameplay feel. I like to stick in first person for a lot of the actual kind of shooting characters.
Right.
Yeah, check it out, guys.
Fantastic. Well, I don't know if we talked about one of his legend. I know you mentioned the extra damage one.
Right. No, actually, I mentioned the stun one.
That's it. That's the only one?
Yeah, so we got two more.
Two more. Let's finish those up before we move on. There's a lot of stuff to cover today.
I know, yeah. We got a lot of new stuff for you guys, as always. So his other 2 legendaries, the first one is an additional amount of damage on each Calamity Blast. So at base, they deal 250 each. The legendary increases that damage by 100 per. So you can essentially get 500 bonus damage on a full charge Calamity Blast, which is already very high. Yes.
But what also too, it's like it takes that original 250 that you can spam all the time to 350.
Absolutely.
It's a much more impactful spam rather than just a big chunk, which a lot of people are thinking about it.
You can be more effective at range. You just got to pay for it with opportunity cost through that legendary. And then the second legendary that we haven't talked about is a very, very frontline oriented one. So I can't remember what it's called, but what it does is below 50% health, you actually take 35% less damage. So this is going to make healing Terminus a lot easier. He's a lot of effective health with this card.
Undying.
Undying, that's right. And you can stack it with all the kind of the tanky loadout cards too, if you really want to kind of buy into that frontline, I'm going to absorb damage build.
It's Haven 5. Under 50%, which is that just shows you that's quite a lot of defense this guy has. So he's got other cool cards to jump in. That is Terminus. He is coming out in OB61, an incredible opportunity. And Nick, I want to leave it to close with you. Any last words you want to say about this guy?
Yeah, so I'm sure there's a little bit of speculation. I know there was a lot going on Reddit before this guy showed up, and you might be able to tell that. He kind of has a different kind of skin going on there. He's got a little stone skin going on. And that's because he's actually the second member of one of our unique races, the Stegala, the other one being Nara. And and he was he's got a little bit more going on to him than just that, though. As you can tell, he's actually been brought back by the magistrate, and he follows the orders. But he's not exactly like just a straight up zombie. He's like more than that.
He's just following orders. We don't know why, but he is.
Yeah, if you lore hounds want to go and dig through all of his voice lines and kind of piece together the things, by all means, give it a try, because he's got a really awesome backstory. And we can't wait for you guys to figure it out.
It's going to be exciting. More on that to follow in the future as Terminus rides this poor horse as we come back here and look at the next change. It's time to get into some of the balance stuff for today. And one of the biggest, most exciting things for me, especially if you play the flank class, it's Big Buck getting I would say a relative rework here to some of his the way he runs. You'll see his health is a little bit different. We're gonna go ahead and break this down with the help of Nick talking about these. I'll lay them out and we'll discuss as it sees. Health decreased from 2,800 to 2,300 for Buck to start out. Base speed also increased from 380 to 385, Nick.
So I think the idea, behind most of these changes is to make him more of a flanker and less of just like a fat guy in your face doing kind of sub-flank damage to you. So he's moving a little bit quicker. He has a little bit less health to be a little bit less kind of obnoxious when you're in your face, fitting more with the flank archetype.
Now his shotgun, if you're noticing some of those numbers, he's got 4 ammo. But the damage was increased from 570 to 800.
It swings,
which means a 1,200 shot headshot if you hit that. Yes. The ammo decreased from 6 to 4, as you can see, to compensate for that. Faster reload speeds as well, which has always been a thing for Buck, and a less erratic spread.
This is a direct buff, I think, to Shady Shades and the Renegades.
and QG,
Peridot,
unfortunately.
Pajamas, QG craze is going to go from the 6th place to now first again. And, just like we said, a little bit less tanky, but doing more damage. Less ammo, though, is a big one to note. But I think when we reworked his weapon from that cannon, the artillery cannon thing, to the shotgun, that's when there was the first shell always takes longer than the rest of them. So now bringing the reload speed up, and they're all even now. So every bullet is kind of the same reload speed. It doesn't take you longer to reload the first.
Very interesting.
Is that true?
And that's not even that's not even deft hands. That was pretty fast reload speed right there.
That's base, boys.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's going to be an exciting thing. Now, let's talk about net shot. That's getting touched as well. We see the net shot cooldown decrease from 12 seconds to 10 seconds, while the base duration is increased from 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. So shorter cooldown, longer duration, and the damage also gets a bump from 150 to 200.
Yeah, I think there's the visual cue on the shotgun now, that little net spool on the right-hand side of the shotgun. Once the 5 seconds ticks out, I think that starts to come on back now, easier to hit. Yeah, there it goes. the weapon inspect. That little bad boy will indicate whether or not your net shot's ready to go.
You got to be really a visual person if that's how you're looking at whether your net shot's up, instead of the number at the bottom corner. But hey, some people do it. The finer details make for a finer experience, I will say. He also is seeing a change to recovery. Now, this is big. This is actually a big adjustment to how it used to be. It was a cooldown over time. Now, it is a 1-second channel that heals for 1,000 health right away.
Can you move while you do this?
Yes.
All right, cool. So he's basically just locked out.
Yep.
And now he's less obnoxious in your face as well if he's locked out while he has to heal. He's not just getting 1,000 effective health in your face for free.
And it is it's a more.
I love that animation, I gotta say. That's really cool.
The heal?
Yeah. That's like the bully, like, you're gonna get a knuckle sandwich.
Knuckle sandwich, pal, here I come. And it's more discreet as well, so I think it'll be easier for players on the opposing side to see that he's healing, and it'll also be just, he heals, it's over. Moving on, I think it's helpful for even Buck players as well to know where their healing is and what they can count on as regards to that, because the way Cauterize played, it was a little hard to figure that out sometimes. Now, he's also got a change to his ultimate, but we're going to move on first to the other ability I completely skipped. Heroic Leap is seeing an increase from 6 seconds to 10 seconds at base.
A little bit less mobile, but more dangerous this Buck is, so I think there's the trade-off there. It still works the same, still does that damage, and yeah.
So the ultimate that I was trying to get to, it's going to change. Buck Wild now will grant 60% increased attack speed and give you infinite ammo. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Willow 2.0. No longer increases your weapon damage, however, and it no longer resets your cooldown. So you take away two of the big aspects, which was the double weapon damage and the cooldown reset, but you just...
But who needs them?
You just get
because
that.
you're chainsawing through the entire enemy team.
You just get that. So that looks good.
That's, yeah, the theme, though, being more of a flanker nowadays.
Yes.
Less tanky, slightly less mobility, but a little bit more scary in terms of what he can do with his weapon.
Quite a lot of Damagio. Damagino.
To put it technically.
Of course. Great stuff there from Buck. He's got some legendary cards adjusted. He's also got some loadout cards adjusted for recovery. So all those have been hampered with. So check out the PTS, the official patch notes, to see exactly what those line items are. Moving on, we talked about the third-person toggle. That's going to be available, and we've already showed that off just recently. The card cooldowns on the HUD.
This is cool. So it's basically internal cooldowns, so things like the one that came to mind was Sleight of Hand on Androxus.
Oh,
so
amazing.
You get your 3 ammo on your dash. Now you know when that's going to be able to be leveraged. We made a change actually a while back. If you didn't need it, so say you had full ammo and you dashed on Andro, it wouldn't take your Sleight of Hand card cooldown away from you. But now if you have used that, you will actually be able to see how much longer, and this goes for every loadout card with an internal cooldown.
Another big change, Nick, and this is something that I think has been something we've harped on in our casts a lot. The system for diminishing returns is getting nearly a complete rework. I think it's safe to say that. The line items are extensive, and they're that way on a purpose for a purpose. So if you guys want to know the exact details of how these diminishing returns are changing, they will be available. But just to put it briefly and let Nick extrapolate, the functionality of these diminishing returns will be changed for all things like movement speed, slow, damage reduction, damage amp, damage increase, healing reduction, healing increase, crowd control reduction, knockback reduction, cooldown reduction, and lifesteal. We've also seen some cap increases. Max movement speed is now 150%, and all other attributes have a maximum of 95%, and they will not kick in until a player receives at least 30% change in an attribute.
Yeah, so they did basically a big long dev talk on all the kind of nitty gritty of this stuff yesterday, but the long and short of it is like we said in our cast, if you run a card like that gives you 20% movement speed, Highborn for instance on Leon, but you bought Nimble 1, that Nimble 1 was just dead for all intents and purposes. You could benefit from 1 movement speed increase before, and it was your strongest win. So basically that whole thing's getting reworked, and all the details are going to be available on the published notes.
Yeah, definitely go watch it. They even have the formula in there, which is a lot. I haven't done math in since like I think college
since you last needed
I last needed to.
We do some math.
We do some math here, but I mean,
a lot of cast math.
These are actual parentheses math.
Yeah.
You talk about addition, multiplication. You know, when you get in my parentheses, that's when I start being
the order of operations.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I need to let go on that. So that's going to be it. Check that out. Please do. It's going to give you a lot of helpful information and make you a smarter player so you can make smarter decisions and thus win more often, have more success, and more fun. It all makes you can have more fun if you read these line item notes in the patch notes. Moving on, we'll also take a look at the champions coming through as well. We've addressed a couple of general bug fixes where champions loading in without weapons happened. That's been addressed. We've also fixed max HP values not returning to expected values after that max is changed. But now moving into the big old champions here, we're seeing some changes to Barrack. Big Daddy Barrack is getting some adjustments to his legendary cards. Tinkerin having his damage reduced from 650 to 550.
So at its base, Tinkerin already makes Barrack's base damage more confirmable in the fact that it's a slug that travels further with less fall-off damage. So the fact that it was also giving you 100 free damage on top of that, just kind of like a double dip factor, and so bringing that one back a little bit.
I mean, he also is a tank that hits as hard as a damage
Fat
champion. He is literally Fat Cassie. It's not like Cassie has a little bit more than him. It's like the exact same. So that also, to me, always felt weird. So that's getting dropped a little bit. Architectonics is also no longer going to instant fire. All the other aspects, it will still be hit scan, I believe. Or wait, no.
As an over-the-moon EV player, this is my comment.
Yes, so it's still going to do the extra damage to you, but it will
have
not
less
be an instant fire.
cooldown. 3 second less cooldown still there.
It can miss.
Extra damage, but it won't be able to hit me as I soar through the air using skill to actually do damage.
But that's what turrets are about, skill to do damage. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
That's actually really good for your brain. Deep breathing. Deep breathing is good.
Yeah. You know what's not good for your brain?
What?
Architectonics. Gameplay. If you can even call it that.
That's Master's gameplay right there. He's in everything.
Yeah.
We've got Maeve. She has been the talk of the town, and she, for good reason, has dominated very well in all levels of play. Maeve is seeing a little bit of a reduction this patch. Nothing too drastic, honestly, but just bring her in line with some of these new weapons projectile changes. The reduction from 450 to 420 hit. She's also what was that about?
It's a great number. I'm sure there's a lot of like thought calculation, statistics, spreadsheet stuff that went into that number, 420.
Yeah, 420, absolutely. And then Midnight is also going to now be affected by resilience and cannot have a below 2-second activation or effect. So it's kind of getting the pip treatment.
Exactly that, the pip treatment.
Which is that it can
be elected. Yeah, so if you pick up Resilience 3, basically Resilience 2. That's all you need to go for if you're just buying it for the Maeve Midnight crowd control effect.
Okay. I am basically now taking a look at the legendary cards for Maeve. We see Artful Dodger no longer cleanses debuffs, but still removes crowd control.
So Cauterize, the big one there. The healing was basically guaranteed. There was a loadout card you could throw on top of that to get like 320 extra healing, I guess, on top of that, so you could get 800 uncauterizable free health back to you. So
nice.
Bringing that one back in line.
Cat Burglar as well is getting a damage increase from 20% to 30%. Now affects the first 2 shots within 5 seconds after Prowl. Is that 2 shots of like ba-ba? Ba-ba? So first 4 shots, basically.
Yeah, 1 in-handed is the bop-bop. So 2 in-hands.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage.
That's different. That's
it's over
good.
2K.
Yeah, okay, so because of the damage drop, you basically get around the same similar damage you're getting, but this buff to the impact of the first 4 shots, essentially, 4 knives.
Pretty much, yeah, 4 knives.
Is a significant
and this
increase.
is the new pluck treatment, so these are your first shots. You can't miss and then hit it later, and that's still good for you. You did it. No?
Dude, I've been loving that pluck because I'll be like a Maldamba, and the Mako will pick me and I'll slither, and then it's like, well, you wasted it, bro. Later. Throw my gourd down.
Yeah. And that's always kind of been like the Misfit legendary that it was like triple jump at first, then it's been reworked, and I don't know. It could have the effect of just people haven't been playing it. It's sleeper OP. So get in there, try it out.
Try it out. There's still plenty to love for Maeve. She's still going to be doing a great job in the roam. Champion balance for Talus now coming forward. We're seeing Blitz Upper have a pre-fire time increased from 0.2 seconds to 0.3 seconds. And I mean, honestly, I heard from, talking about this, that this was more just a feels thing.
Yeah, so the punch comes through extremely quickly. It's a lot of, especially when you combo it with your ultimate.
Kind of jarring.
It's a lot of, just like, pop, pop. It's like, what, just 1,200? No. Bye. So, yeah, and I was actually noticing it when we were looking at his Oni skin in-game. It feels a little bit smoother to kind of like have that wind up and the impact of the punch.
So hopefully this should just improve the experience of it. It's not really a nerf. I mean, that's still insanely fast. You'll be able to hit every single one, but the clarity of where it's going should help. We're also seeing a boon to his legendary card, Fastian Bargain. That will now also reduce the base cooldown of Rune of Travel, which I guess it didn't do before.
This is a good one because it is sort of the core of his kit and his gameplay. And it's a 15-second cooldown, so it's up there as, getting close to one of the longest cooldowns in the game. So now that legendary bringing a little bit more to the table.
Torvald, moving forward, he is going to be getting some damage fall off onto his gauntlet. So he's not just going to be hitting from 200 across the map. That was pretty strong.
The further they go, the less damage they do.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure. I wonder, do they have a minimum, or will they just get down to like...
I think most things have a minimum. It's just a matter of where exactly, I haven't played with that one yet.
Full cross-map Ice Mines.
I mean, when he came out, I was playing Strix on Timbermill, just getting destroyed by this Torvald. I was like, I hate my life.
That's the thing. If you go the max distance in Paladins on the farthest map and shoot, it'll actually
will
heal you.
Would that have to be somewhere? Where's the longest line of sight on? It's probably somewhere on Fish Market.
You actually
go out
probably
on a dock and you go to shoot at somebody's spawn or something.
You're probably right.
Somebody go figure out where the longest sight line is on any of the maps.
Get back to us right now live on this show. Tyra, we're seeing some adjustments here, and this is some love for some Tyra players here. We've had some pros talking about this, and casual players haven't seen her in a long time in esports and high level. So her auto rifle is getting a damage fall off adjusted to deal more damage over range.
Yep, simple. Straightforward.
And Firebomb, this is her big kind of point clear ability helping with the team fight. That's actually becoming more lethal, giving damage per tick increase from 3% to 4% of the enemy's max health.
And we're doing an update to the tooltip of it. It's actually wrong in live right now, but it's basically a retick rate of 0.2. And that was 3% of your health every 0.2 seconds. You were affected by the debuff. Of course, you can't just move out of the fire, but reapplying that debuff by walking back into the fire will reapply and so on. And now it's doing 4% of your health.
All right.
Of 3.
Yeah, that don't stand in the fire.
It's the first rule of video games.
That is a good rule of life, and I feel like that applies to a lot of things.
Life.
Yeah,
that also applies to life.
Yeah, maybe not if you're born a marshmallow. Then that's unfortunate. you're connected.
You're forced. Well, that's
Young son, one day
that's a hell of a fate.
Go into the fire. Or like slimy mouth, whichever one.
What a life of a marshmallow.
I know.
God.
Let's not talk about it. This is getting me depressed.
All right, me too.
Victor, he's got a new kind of tire treatment as well for the damage fall off. It's going to begin to fall off 10 feet further, and a maximum fall off deal 10% more damage.
So more damage at the furthest range, and your damage will not fall off and a little bit further out, basically.
Great. So Victor and Tyra.
More damage.
Yeah, more damage for Victor and Tyra. That's fantastic. Zen, he's getting a counter improvement to the visual feedback of when that ability is used. I'm assuming that's for him, but it could also be for other people.
It's probably for other people.
For other people?
It's, kind of like, don't shoot sort of feedback.
Yeah, hey, he's doing this thing.
I got to say, I still enjoy hopping on the console every now and again in my console bronze ranked games and just sitting in front of ruckuses that just don't get it.
Yeah, they just don't get it. And they're messing up their whole team. All right, moving through this, we've got another big aspect of this balance, which is something that's going to be happening and affecting only PTS. There are some changes coming through. A lot of them are based off of a specific item change.
PTS only.
And that is, again, PTS only. This is not going live. This is for you to test and give us your feedback on. There's an item called Record that is obviously very important and integral to Paladins at this moment in terms of getting rid of shields. It is getting an adjustment. It's being reworked for PTS. So test this out. The Wrecker card now will increase damage dealt to frontline champions by 10, 20, and then eventually 30% at level 3.
Yep, so they talked about this as well on the Dev Insight yesterday.
Yeah.
Only going to PTS. Again, can't really stress that one enough. And it's going to... we also got to talk about, in conjunction to that, the shield, like basically all the defensive cooldowns.
Yes.
That's up next. But they're all being reduced to compensate for this. But the defensive option of the shield will be more impactful. And then if you're just kind of out and about getting in people's faces, they'll have a way to kind of reduce that.
So again, this is very, very important, as you mentioned, from a line item perspective for Ash, Barrack, Makoa, Fernando, Ruckus, and Torvald. All of the tanks. Nara, I don't think applies to this.
She's
I'm not
deployable.
sure. Actually, will have their shields reduced to compensate. It's going to be interesting. Remember, this is going to be.
I believe it's 60%. So Fernando drops from, I think, 8,000 to 4,600, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something of that nature I saw, and I think Makoa went from like I think it was Makoa. I think it was actually Makoa. But they might be the same.
It's like 60% of their
Yeah.
old shield HP.
Yeah, so they all are getting their adjustments. But I mean, Nick, from Garrett was on the Dev Talk. He did a lot in terms of talking about like the reasoning to test this out. And for Wrecker, can we get some enlightenment onto kind of what's the purpose of this and where this is going, what we're looking for from the test?
I think before Wrecker, at least for me, was just such a crazy amount of damage, and it almost feel like your like with Makoa, you were deploying your shield and then it was dead before it was even fully deployed, right? So that's just kind of like, oh, this is supposed to be like my defensive thing, right? That I provide to the team, and now it's more in line of I'll be able to do that, right? I'll be able to have this impactful defensive cooldown that I have to use smartly, and it won't just blow up in a matter of seconds, right? But now it also reduces the frontliners' obnoxious ability to like get in front of people's faces. They'll be taking 30% more damage if they're trying to be flank Nando or something. So.
Right, and Fernando with the count, just to like finally reiterate, Fernando's counter to damage is his huge shield. That's his ability. But Wrecker has not changed the fact that in its current state that front lines still dominate paladins very, very heavily in a lot of different scenes. And it's not really a good measuring stick of like how well I can get rid of a front line, because they still have a lot more health and a lot more damage. So this way they can use their shield as an actual defensive mechanic, and you could still be impactful once you've out kind of smarted or outwitted or out-timed the use of that shield to be able to win those duels in a better.
They said it best on the Dev Insights. An objective-based game, and those characters are designed to hold the objective.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. Please give us your thoughts and feedback. I cannot encourage you to play a PTS more than this one, despite there being a new champion. This is very, very important. This game has been this way with Wrecker that way through pretty much its existence.
Through time and space.
Yeah, through time and space, or through space and time. So it's very, very important. You guys check it out. So see us on PTS forums.paladins.com/PTS, I believe, or just forums.paladins.com.
What's the moment of truth? I mean, can Nick Arnold turn into Alyssa?
That's the question. Can Nick turn into a Nick?
Bam! He did it.
Oh my God!
His training paid off.
I have to join the Magic Academy now. The Academy of
Magic Academia.
Yeah, Magic Academia, which is, I guess, led by
an
Thomas
anime
Holt and his
reference?
team.
No, would never.
Not at all.
Not on Fridays. Not on my patch.
So Alyssa, Nick, whatever. What would you like to be called this time?
Just
Nicholas.
Alyssa's
Just
fine.
Alyssa's fine. That'll do. How you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing great. I'm back today with community questions. It's been a
Cool.
while, but we've got a
Bam.
bunch. So let's
All right.
jump right into it.
Let's do it.
Let's see. The first question is, there are many people who believe that third-person view gives advantage to whoever uses it, so why would you implement something like this in a first-person shooter game? This is asked by Kikyo.
All right, Kikyo. So, yes, in some scenarios you are 100% correct. Being able to have your camera angle around corners or get a wider FOV of the situation would be considered an advantage. One thing to mention is that our third-person camera is actually capped at 100 FOV, whereas our third-person camera is capped at 100 FOV, whereas the first-person, you can go all the way to 120. So the field of view is kind of average out. Granted, yes, you can still kind of like, if you do it,
Work the angle.
move forward.
Work the angle.
3-peek, yeah. If you 3-peek, this is something that is actually kind of offset by the fact that the gameplay itself in third person is, for many characters, not particularly an advantage, whereas your only advantage is that peek in certain scenarios, and we don't really have the kind of pixel hunting, like sub 0.2 second TTK that is in some other games where a corner look can make or break an entire round. The ability to do so is also already currently in game with emotes. Granted, you are given the kind of lockout period, but it is something we're watching. But we don't foresee, and internal testing hasn't proved to be a large, or if any, amount of a detriment.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
All right, next question. Since diminishing returns will be a thing, will champions like Inara lose their viability, which is in her case damage reduction? And if so, what plan do you have for her? Asked by Andre Barrow 308.
All right, Andre. So actually, the new change, Diminishing Returns, actually benefits Inara. And if it's kind of unclear how the Diminishing Returns, I'll try and restate it in a simplified form. So basically, your largest benefit of any attribute, whether it's damage reduction, healing, or whatever, you're going to get first, and it's going to be undiminished. So
Wow.
if you have
Mother's Grace, boys.
right, you get the full value of Mother's Grace, and then the additional kind of reduction on top of that stacks on top of that and then diminishes. So there's no scenario right now where you will see no benefit from a card or a movement ability or a buff
Right.
or anything like that.
Cool.
So it's not an issue, and she will definitely still be viable.
It's
All right.
fantastic.
Speedfall12 asks, with the changes now to be tested for Wrecker on the PTS, it was said that the shields of Frontlines would be changed as well. Are these new shields coming to live this patch, or when the new Wrecker goes live?
So if the new record goes live, then the new shields will go with them. Like just as the record changes are PTS only, the shield changes to compensate for the record changes are also PTS only. So all of those will be reverted back to their original in live with the shield damage record values. So don't have to worry about it.
The Wild Gamer asks, how much time does it take for you guys to make a new champion?
Well, if you see the rings under, no, I'm kidding. It's a lot of time, but it goes by so fast, guys, because we love creating these things. I think an accurate ballpark would probably be between 4 to 6 months, probably from just initial like, oh, we should do X idea, or oh, there's a need for this thing, to actually like on like next Wednesday or whatever when we ship it coming out and you guys playing with it. So yeah,
Wow.
long time.
Yeah, that is a long time.
And there's many champions being developed in succession of each other. So you could be 4 months in on one, 2 months in on another, while concepting the third one out. In addition to all gameplay, skin, everything. So a lot of work, but we love doing it. Thanks for playing our game.
All right, Dad Naya asks, can we have a literally hot skin for Fernando, like Fernando on Fire?
That's a little morbid.
Straight to the point.
I mean, is this like a deep-seated rage against Fernando?
I'm just picturing
don't
like
know.
Fernando, like beach Fernando, like
hot.
in a
Yeah.
Speedo, just like on fire, like hey.
He needs a Speedo skin, man.
I mean,
We haven't seen
guys,
beneath the armor.
Yeah, we did the Lexcellent Lex or whatever.
Yeah, we did.
So I would not put it past us if you
It could
want.
happen.
It could happen.
Banana
Send us your
hammock
fan art.
Fernando.
I like that idea.
Kappa Pride's in the chat.
I also like the literal. He's got he's like flames, like
Yeah.
Flame Man, Flame Boy, whatever that is.
The Human Torch.
The
Human Torch.
The Human Torch.
I'm
Boy.
trying not to
Flame Boy
be.
Fernando.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to copyright, guys. I don't know.
All
He
right.
went to copyright school.
I did. I did go to copyright school.
Do we
You
have another
jerk. Why do you
question?
bring that up?
No, those are all the questions. Thank you guys for sending them in. But that's not all. I do want to rev Hi-Res Expo. We've got a discount code
yeah.
for all patch preview viewers. Paladins 15. You got 15% off. So it's getting closer to HRX, and tickets are selling out. So make sure if you want to join us in January that you go ahead and get your ticket.
It's gonna be a hot ticket. Some would
Yes.
say.
Yep. Do we have anything about maps?
Maps.
Nope.
Okay. Well, guys, there's a
you?
new map coming into the test queue. Yeah, that I want you guys to play. Experimenting, I think, with some kind of new formats, but we love kind of being able to iterate really quickly and get this feedback in the test queue for you guys. So check it out.
Awesome. Test queue coming out, and check that out when you guys jump into PTS. Garrett, when is it?
Today.
Today he gives us an answer. Wow. Okay, this is a special Friday, guys. Enjoy yourselves. Thanks for everybody who worked on this patch. Remember, all the love, the hard work, the energy goes into bringing this stuff to you guys on time. As Garrett said, it's a 4 to 6 month process just for a champion. That has nothing to do with skins, voice, all that good stuff. So again, gratitude #1 here on the list, and we appreciate you guys watching and enjoying the game. Check out PTS later today, and that's going to be it for all of us here. As always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and we'll see you all in the realm.